The Basilica Cistern is one of the most important cultural assets, where we can trace the traces of glorious Istanbul history. This grand underground cistern, built by Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian I in 6th century, is nicknamed Sunken Palace among the public due to its numerous marble columns rising from the water. It is also known as Basilica Cistern by some, as it was built on the site of the former Stoa Basilica, which was a large public building with multiple functions. What is a cistern? Put simply, it's a water storage facility. So the Basilica Cistern, once filled by an aqueduct, was a giant water tank. With its 80,000-ton or 18 million-gallon water storage capacity, Basilica Cistern is the largest covered cistern in the city, and stands out with more reclaimed supporting elements compared to other covered cisterns. Covering an area of approximately 10,000 square meters, this colossal structure has a rectangular shape with a length of 140 meters, or 462 feet, and a width of 70 meters, or 229 feet. According to written sources, the cistern used to distribute water from waterways and rain to the Great Palace, where the emperors resided, and the surrounding buildings, meeting the city's water needs for hundreds of years. It also received water from one of the historical aqueducts called the Hadrianus Aqueduct. Inside the cistern, there are 336 columns, each measuring 9 meters or 30 feet in height. These columns are erected at 4.8 meter or 16 feet intervals, forming 12 rows, each containing 28 columns. Carved from various types of marble, most of the columns consist of a single piece, while some are composed of two parts. The capitals of the columns exhibit different features. Some reflect the Corinthian style, while others stand out with plain, unadorned capitals. Except for a few of the columns with angular or fluted shapes, most of them are observed to be cylindrical. The cistern's 4.80 meter, or 16 feet thick walls made of bricks, and its brick-paved floor are rendered impermeable by a thick layer of mortar made from Horasan lime. But, where did all those columns come from? The cistern lies beneath what used to be a Roman basilica, which was a sort of social and civil hub for public use. They were the heart of the city, and were always built with covered porticos, and therefore plenty of columns. It is believed that this basilica in Constantinople was demolished, and its columns used to support the roof of this new, vast underground cistern. Hence the profusion of ornate, highly decorative Corinthian capitals in what would have been a place that nobody ever saw. And hence, perhaps the presence of the famous Medusa heads. Nobody is sure, but they were probably taken from another Roman building, and because of their size and strength, used as pedestals. And there's the column of eyes, whose provenance is also unclear. Some speculate that, with its appearance of falling tears, the column was a tribute to slaves who died building this cistern. Over 7,000 were involved in its construction. After the conquest of Istanbul in 1453, the historical cistern continued to be used for the needs of Topkapi Palace for a while, and later became known to be used by the public, as the area started to urbanize gradually. In the 16th century, the structure was unnoticed by Westerners, until it was rediscovered. Between 1544 and 1555, the French naturalist and topography expert Petrus Gillius, who lived in Istanbul, appears as the person who made this discovery. Gillius was the first to measure the cistern's dimensions, and according to him, it was 336 feet long, 182 feet wide, and its circumference was 224 Roman steps. He also counted the columns and recorded that there were exactly 336 of them, as well as mentioning the existence of several wells on the top of the cistern. Gillius' statements about how people drew water with buckets, rowed boats, and used lamps for illumination inside the cistern, with air and light seeping through the wells, show that the locals were aware of the cistern at that time, and this information has been passed down to the future. Over the years, it became full of mud and silt, and has undergone significant restorations and cleanings. When it was no longer needed, the Basilica Cistern became a tourist site. The water was drained down, and visitors used to be taken round on boats. And today it has become a museum. It would seem sacrilegious in the modern day, to demolish an ancient site and reuse its materials in a newer building, or even to build on it at all. But, in a way, that can bring more life to those ruins. They were built to be used, not to be looked at. And it is a direct statement of the process of history, how each age and generation builds on its predecessors, and take from them, too, while making their own additions. One long tapestry, in this case of Byzantium, Constantinople, and now Istanbul. Thank you for watching Encyclopedia Historia. If you like our video, please give a thumbs up and share. Subscribe to our channel to not miss our videos.